Welcome to The Big Picture. I'm Phil Arno. I've been hearing for quite some time now that New York is the epicenter for what's been called the coronavirus pandemic. Thousands have been infected, and we're told we all have to stay home, stay away from each other. We're all at tremendous risk. So why New York? Why are we so blessed? Oh, I know, New York City is the most cosmopolitan city in the world. There's a dense population there, and people, they're coming in from all over the place just to that one spot. But there may be another element to the story, something that certain members of the press and certainly a lot of your elected officials would never want you to think about. The medical community in New York State is, to put it mildly, a disaster. Wait, you might be thinking, New York is so sophisticated. We have the best of everything, don't we? Well, let's look at some cold, hard facts. According to an extensive study done by the research site WalletHub, for the best states to practice medicine in, out of all 50 states, New York ranks, get this, 51st. Yeah, 51st out of 50. That's a neat trick. The answer to the obvious question is they tossed in the District of Columbia just for good measure. Anyway, some of the categories were annual average wage for physicians. New York was actually number 50 for that. Great, not the last. And then there was the highest malpractice award amount per capita. We actually slipped and rank 51. In fact, it's hard to really stress how poorly New York ranks versus all the other states. Let's look at a point total, because that's how they used for their ranking system. New York scored a total of 37.4 points. The next worst state in the entire country was Rhode Island, with a score of 44.83 points, almost 20% better. The state with the highest score was Montana, with a score of 77.19. In other words, if you're a doctor, you'd be better off in your profession working in any other place in this great big country of ours, other than New York State. Now, might that have anything to do with anything? Who knows? But the government officials here, certainly those in charge of rules and regulations and fees and taxes and, in general, our state's quality of life, those people are not going to ask that question, are they? Okay, listen, I've been saying for some time now that I don't want to be part of the doom and gloom media, and so I want to change directions here, and let's get into a message that's a little bit more positive, if you will. I sense that there's a more interesting subject on the horizon. I'm getting a message here. A much better looking person to look at than me. Wait a minute, how can that be? Okay, so be it. And here she is, the ever lovely Karyn Reece. Welcome to the show, Karyn.
Wow, I'll see. There's a whole big audience today in light of everything, you know.
In light of everything that's been going on, I mean, I don't know how tired everybody is of hearing about coronavirus, but we should talk at least a little bit about how it's affecting your world and the things that you're doing. You're not having sessions with clients face-to-face right now. You're doing it through technology.
Gotta love technology, yes. I do telephones once a month anyways, but I've been doing a lot of phones. People are panicking, and you know, it is a serious situation, but as I tell my clients, we all have brains, we'll all get through this, you know, keep your eyes focused. It's a test of our, you know, perseverance, it's our test in faith and belief, and look, you know, we're Americans, we always, you know, we're resilient, we'll come back. And the good thing is we had a strong economy, because I know a lot of my clients are worried about the economy before we went into this. So coming, you know, out of it, we'll be in a really good position. Maybe not as great as it would have been prior to this, but you know we're not going to be destitute.
Well, it's always an opportunity when, like the stock market, for instance, when it goes down so much, and it goes down on something that arguably is going to be a temporary situation.
Yep.
And it was so strong before, it's almost, it's almost like a gift, if you will, for people who invest in the stock market, because if you know anything about the stock market, there's a strong economy, there was a strong economy, you have this temporary situation which drives everything down. You know that it's temporary, so it stands to reason that there's going to be recovery. Mm-hmm. Now, how strong the recovery is, we don't know, but there's got to be a bottom somewhere, and this is the time that you take advantage of that. People who are smart and know anything about the stock market, they take advantage of these times, and they cash in on it.
Oh God, I say it's making lemonade out of, lemons. Last week when the market was really, dumping down, I was out there buying quite a bit. I was telling clients, this is the opportune time.
And you used to be a broker. You know these things.
Oh yeah, many years ago. And as long as you buy great stock, you don't panic, and you hang on long term. I did some in and outs, but for the most part, you get good quality. Or if you're in a position, you keep dollar cost averaging, and there's some really good buys. Now the market was up today, but as it fluctuates, you go in, scoop it up, and we've hit some great highs, in the last, year with our current presidential candidate, who's really propelled the economy. So
when folks, when everybody else is out there looking at the doom and gloom and oh my God, what's going on and how we're going to protect ourselves, this is your opportunity to think, how can I cash in on this? How can I make this a great thing for me? Look for discounts, companies that are going to be trying to get people to come back in and deal with them. They're going to be giving discounts. They're going to be giving incentives for people to deal with them. Look for those discounts. Look for those special deals. Look to get back into the stock market. Look at all the opportunities. That's what is opening up for people. Opportunities. So don't look at the doom and gloom, folks. Look at the good stuff.
I totally agree. That's such good medicine today.
Positive thoughts, positive energy. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, you only live one, life once, so you might as well enjoy it and just go with what you can. But I do think it's a good time to sit and reflect, get things done. I really don't think that people should panic. Take a walk, get some exercise in, breathe some, fresh air, do some things along that line, and buy some good stock. Now,
you talk to people every day. You on a very personal level, the types of things that you get into. How has the mood changed? Have you sensed any difference in the last several weeks as to how people are reacting?
I have to say people are very concerned. Some are panicky. You see a lot of depression coming out. And as I tell people, this too will pass. Time marches on. Energy moves forward. We have options. We're, intelligent. We're solution-based people. So give it some time. It'll all work itself out. Yes, it's serious, but you can't get caught up on all the negativity. It's not going to serve you well. It's just going to keep you stuck in a position. So you might as well look at, what did I do today? What are some of the great things I should be grateful for? Try to look at something to be happy about. But a lot of people, they're concerned. And I think a lot of it because they're hearing it everywhere. With our social media, that's all they're doing. They're sitting home, they're engaged on social media all day, and everybody keeps regurgitating the same thing. It's serious, but let's not lose sight of the fact that it's a reset. We'll get through it.
Well, I think it's part of it is that this is so unusual. It disrupts the course of everybody, the everyday life. People have had plans and they have a routine. Easter is coming up. A lot of people planned vacations, and kids were going to be off school, so there's a situation where they planned for one thing, but now everything's closing down, and people can't travel like they had planned.
Yeah.
If they had a vacation, if they had something that they've been thinking about forever, because Easter is usually something you plan ahead of time, that now is all kind of out the window, because the airlines are not flying normally and cities are closing down. So if you're going to go on a vacation, you can't go to the hotels and the restaurants and the resorts and the beaches and whatever. So most vacations are like out the window. And kids who were craving snow days and days off from school are now saying, wait a minute, I'm bored. I got nothing to do. I wanted to, get off of school, but now what? I can't even see my friends, And so it's like a total reversal of what is normal, and that throws people.
Totally, totally. People don't like to change to begin with, and in their frame of reference, they do compare and contrast their lifestyle. But at the same token, I tell a lot of my clients, yeah, right at this time, it may be a disappointment, but when you get the chance to go on vacation or do the things that you're going to do, just think about how much more you'll value it. So it really gives us a contrast to say, wow, I really appreciate this. Something where I may have taken it for granted. So kind of looking in that light, helps to gauge it back up. It's a trying time, but you know what? We'll get through it.
Yeah.
We're Americans. We're resilient. The world is watching us and how we react, and some of our solutions that we'll come up with. And here's a chance to be creative.
I don't know whether it's my personality or a Jesuit education, but somewhere back in my background, I learned that most problems that you deal with, as long as everybody is still healthy, most problems are temporary.
True.
You deal with it. When I was a student and you had problems with studies or a subject or tests or something like that, and at that time when you're a teenager, a lot of things seem like the end of the world. But you learn, if you become a critical thinker, you learn to deal with stuff, and you learn that everything is temporary, and you take one thing at a time, and you know that it's going to pass, and you go to the next thing. And that becomes a way of life as you grow older. And this is what we were talking about. You basically, everybody, we need to deal with this now, but know that it is a temporary thing. And as long as you have your health and your loved ones have their health, nothing else matters. Because in a little while, we're going to be thinking about something else, and we'll be past this. That's the important thing.
There's so much truth to that. It's so funny because I graduated, my undergrad, I finished up on independent study. I loved it. So when all these, college kids are complaining about, not being in college, I'm like, what, are you nuts? You could sit home and read in your pajamas. That's one of the things I enjoyed doing when I was writing my thesis and whatever. I thought it was a win-win for me. Didn't have to go out on a cold day, could sit home. But it's interesting though, but there is so much truth to that. It's a serious situation, but it's not the be all or end all. It's a reset. As I tell people, having a setback makes it even better when you have a comeback. We're down, we can only go up. Yeah. And that's where we are. We always work through it.
Yeah, this may seem like it's dragging on, and it's because we're miserable, because we got nothing to do. But we're having fun here on the program, and because we're having fun, time went really quickly. And this is the end of this segment because it just went by really quickly. So we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back with some more interesting thoughts. Stay tuned.